Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the My Québec City podcast series, where we bring you our opinion and stories on the hottest, trendiest topics around the world. My name is Joseph Ahmed, and today I'll be talking about the risks of sports betting on the youth. Sports betting is on the rise, and I'll be here to inform you on the financial and mental risks of this form of gambling. I've been an avid sports follower myself ever since I was a kid, and I'm here to give you my opinion on how and also why betting on sports is a terrible idea. To kick things off, let's go over the basics of sports betting. So essentially, you're placing money on a sports game for a certain outcome to arrive. And if it does happen, then you win money. How much money depends on what the odds are of your bet happening. So obviously, if you place money for the worst team in the league to win a game, then the odds of that happening are far less great than if, for example, you placed money on the best team in the league. Because obviously the best team in the league, whether it be in hockey, basketball, or any sport, obviously they have a much greater chance of winning a game than the worst team. So if, for example, you were to place $5 bet on the worst team in hockey, well, the money you're gonna make, the profit you're gonna make if the worst team wins will be much greater than the profit you would have made if you had placed $5 on the best team in the league to win a game. So as you can tell, the objective of betting on sports is for the outcome that you've placed your money on. The objective is for it to happen so that you can profit off of that. There are many different ways that you can place your money. So it can be on the winner of a certain game, the amount of points or goals there will be, or how many goals a player will score. There's also the possibility of combining all of these bets into one large wager, which is called a parlay. This is especially dangerous in sports betting, but I'll look into why a little bit later on. There's also another really cool but also at the same time destructive feature, which is live betting. Live betting allows you to place bets while a game is happening, no matter the score or the time of the game. The problem with this is the urge or desire even that people have to place money during the game, and it's hard for them to control. This is also a indicator of a gambling problem or a development of a gambling problem. For example, if you've lost $10 today, why wouldn't you want to place a bet on a live game and try to win back the $10 that you've just lost? This phenomenon is actually called chasing losses, which is essentially trying to win back the money that you've already lost by placing irrational and thoughtless bets on games that you might not be familiar with or that you're simply guessing the outcome. So yeah, as I said, it's really a big indicator of a gambling problem, because I mean you're one click away from placing any bet you want. Sports betting is almost all online nowadays, and they're virtually nothing can stop you from placing any bet you want at any time. The only thing that's stopping you actually is the amount of money you have in your account, and you can so easily place more and more money whenever you want from your bank account directly into your sports betting account that it's really scary. It's really disturbing how easy it is to transfer money, to place money, to bet money, and to lose money. The variety offered by the sports books is also astonishingly scary, whether it be video games, water polo, European basketball, even the next president of the United States. You can bet on the outcome. The possibilities are endless, but unfortunately this means people tend to place their money on way too many things at once, and sometimes with wagers that they can't always afford, and they end up losing. Well, obviously there are some instances where you can win, and sometimes even win a large amount of money. There's been plenty of stories where people have won incredible amounts of money. But just like in the lottery, or actually any form of gambling, what do you think happens to most people after a big win? They just go back to losing, and they place more money, and they want to win more money, and they end up just losing and perhaps winning again. And then they have that high, low. They go from a high to a low, back to a high, and that's what keeps them locked. That's what keeps them in the game. They continue to bet because they think they have a chance of winning, and when they do, they feel like they could win more. And that's a big problem. Now that we've covered the basics, we can get into the risks now. So the first big risk I'd like to touch on is the psychological aspect of sports betting. So the mental risks sports betting brings are really they're really detrimental for the bettor. Among a lot of others, betting can lead to gambling problems, addictions, self-constraint and discipline problems. Even at a young age, young adults and even teenagers who are betting illegally. These people who start betting on sports, they've developed severe mental issues. And it's a problematic topic because, first of all, obviously sports betting isn't even legal for minors in Quebec. But also sports betting is really on the rise, and so far there's nothing to really control those factors. According to the Fortune newspaper, there have been 15.3 million new sports bettors in the United States during an 18-month period in 2021. Even if it's on a much smaller scale, this number represents Quebec's situation with sports betting. So unfortunately, what this means is that more and more people will suffer from betting, from excessive betting, from losing money, which will in turn lead to more and more people having mental issues and developing problems that are going to be directly caused by their loss of money from sports betting. Moving on now with the financial dangers of betting. So as mentioned earlier, the amount of money you make off of a winning bet depends on the odds of it happening. But how exactly are those odds determined? Well, the answer is that there's no clear way of setting those odds. In Quebec, all sports betting is controlled by the government and runs through mise au jeu, which is a website run by Lotto Quebec. This basically means Lotto Quebec decides the odds they place on every game and outcome, and they do this by comparing with other companies, or more commonly called sports books. In doing so, Lotto Quebec is able to create odds that will attract people in order to get them to wager their money, but at the same time limit their earnings. Well, for example, a winning bet on the Montreal Canadiens on mise au jeu might give you, say, a profit of $4. But on a different Vegas-run sportsbook or any other sportsbook, you might have made a profit of $5 if you would have bet on their website. Well, this is just one of the many slight details these companies apply to make sure that they're making money and you're not. Amateur bettors are the people who are most likely to fall into this trap, I guess you could say, as they think that they're going to make the most amount of money out of their bets, but in reality, it's not the case at all. These odds are generally decided by a wide variety of statistics that determine, for example, a team's odds in percentage to win a game against another team. But once this percentage is calculated, the sports books can create the odds that they want from those statistics. But obviously, if you place a $5 bet and on a certain website, that would give you a 25-cent profit. But you see that on a different website, it would have given you a $6 profit. Obviously, you're going to tend to flush that sports book completely and go and bet on a different website. So that's kind of the game that's going on. It's a game within the game. So in a certain way, all these sports books are competing with each other, offer you odds that will make you want to place money with them. But at the same time, the sports books themselves, the companies, they don't want to lose that much money. So they're trying to limit your earnings. You've probably heard of the saying, the house always wins in a Vegas casino. Well, with sports betting, it's a similar story. And in both cases, you're the one losing your cash. To finish up, to wrap things up, sports betting is really just another kind of gambling, and it's really just as dangerous. I would strongly recommend to never even start gambling on sports and just simply enjoy the game. Enjoy watching the games, the teams you love, without having the risk or the stress of risking your money, basically. And if I could give you one last piece of advice, if you really want to invest your money, invest it into something a lot safer. You won't regret it. On a more positive note, I'd like to thank you all for listening, and I wish you a wonderful day.